You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's a quote from Jim Rohn, and it tends to hold true in every area of your life. Whether it's your faith, having a good marriage, getting in shape, or even just being good with your money. You tend to become the average of the people that you're around in each of these areas. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to share with you why this is true, how it affects your money, and what you can do about it. But is this just some quote? Like, how do we know if this is actually true or not? Well, for starters, it's not just one quote. There's tons of them out there. Here's a few that you've probably heard. You are who you hang with. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You'll even find this concept or idea in ancient philosophy as well as the Bible. Proverbs 12 says that the wise choose their friends carefully. And in the very next chapter, it says that whoever walks with the wise will become wise, but a companion of fools will suffer harm. But even if you left all of that aside, the quotes, the Bible, the ancient philosophy, science still backs up this idea. See, we have these things in our brains that are called mirror neurons, and honestly, we don't have a complete understanding of how these exactly work or how they affect us, but we do know that they contribute to some amount of mimicking or imitation by other people. Basically, you know how when somebody starts to smile, that you subconsciously start to smile too, or smile back at them? Or when you're in conversation with somebody and they cross their arms, or they slouch to the side, or they do something like that, and then you subconsciously start to mimic them and do the exact same thing. All of these things are contributed to these mirror neurons that make you do this kind of thing subconsciously. Okay, but what does this have to do with finance? Well, everything. See, if you're around people who don't care about saving and don't care about being in debt and don't work hard, then you're going to start to mimic them. You're going to be the same way. I'm sure you've seen this in your own life. We all know people who were making, let's say, good life decisions, and then for whatever reason, maybe they started hanging out with the wrong group of friends, and then all of a sudden their life took a very negative turn. Whether it was getting involved with drugs or the wrong relationships or getting fired from jobs over and over again because they didn't take work seriously. So we know this is a thing. We know that the people that you surround yourself with will absolutely have a major impact on your life, whether positively or negatively. But what can we practically do about it? Well, the first thing is to extremely limit or possibly even remove toxic relationships. It's not fun to talk about removing people from your life or limiting time with somebody who even might be close to you. It could even be a family member. But if they're toxic, if they're constantly bringing you down and just crapping all over your goals and your dreams and what you want to do, then you need to get away from that. If you're telling people close to you that you want to get out of debt or you want to get on a budget or you want to do something like that, or maybe even lose a bunch of weight, and they're just telling you how, like, oh, that's not possible, you're not going to be able to stick with that. Yeah, right. You actually stick to a budget? Are you kidding me? If you're hearing things like that, you've got to get out from under those people. You got to get away from those kinds of folks. The second thing you need to do is limit your time with people who are keeping you stagnant or who are stagnant themselves. Now, these people may not be toxic. They're not trying to actively bring you down. They're just stagnant. They're just kind of complacent, and they don't really have any ambition or goals similar to what you're trying to do. You don't need to remove these people from your life or stop all contact with them or anything like that. You just need to limit the amount of time that you spend around these kinds of people. If you're serious about managing your money well and getting ahead, then you've got to spend time around people who are also serious about doing that. The New England Journal published a study a few years ago that took place over the course of 32 years where they followed 12,000 people. They had all these people weigh at different increments in their life, and they looked at a bunch of different factors that contributed to how they might increase weight or how they might become obese. If you had a close friend who became obese during that time period, your odds of also becoming obese increased by 57%. And they even pointed out this has nothing to do with proximity. Like, if you had a neighbor who lost or gained a bunch of weight, it didn't affect you at all. If you had a family member who lost or gained a bunch of weight, it may not have affected you at all. It really just has to do with the closeness of the relationship itself. Even if that friend who gained a ton of weight was like hundreds of miles away, if you were close to them and you talked with them and you were really tight with them, your odds were still increased by 57%. So if you're spending a lot of time around people who don't have similar goals as you, it might be time to start pulling away. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't ever be friends with them or you need to be a jerk about it or you need to write them off. I'm not saying that at all. You still maintain relationships. It just means that you don't want them to be your very best friends. Which brings me to the third thing that you need to do. find new friends. Now, the good news is we live in 2018. It has literally never been easier to find new friends than it is today. Even if you're from a small town like I am, and you don't actually have a lot of people located right near you that might have similar goals or have similar interests as you could find a ton of people online who do. There's Facebook groups, there's forums you can find, there's meetups and live events that actually happen centered around certain topics or goals or things that people are trying to achieve. There's podcasters and YouTubers that you can listen to and be influenced by in a positive way, and even the fans and the audience of those podcasters and YouTubers. Those are great people that you can meet and be friends with. I found people in Facebook groups that I randomly joined based on topics or things that I was interested in, and now some of those people I've actually met up with in person, and we've become real life friends. So that's the challenge. That's what I want you to do. I want you to think about the different areas in your life that you want to improve. Probably finance, since you're watching this channel, and then think through who in your life do you need to maybe remove or extremely limit your access and time with? Who in your life do you need to just somewhat limit your time with? And then where can you go to find new friends and influences that you can be around? That's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like it. Remember, I can teach you how to choose your friends wisely, but I can't make you do it. The choice is yours. I'll see y'all next time.